Hi, and welcome to day 3 of more factoring. It says overcoming a second obstacle in factoring. What if there is a remainder? And I think I don't have the latest one updated in my computer. So we are day 3 and my stuff says day 5. Don't worry about it. Write the rational number 13/4 as a mixed number. When was the last time we had to do a mixed number, right? Well, we divide. Put 4 on the outside, 13 on the inside. 4 goes into 13 3 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract, and I get 1, a remainder of 1. So that means it's 13 and, 3 and 1/4. All right. Find the quotient by factoring the numerator. So what are my factors of 2 that add up to 3? Well, that's x and 1 and x and 2. Now that sign's positive, so both signs are the same. X plus 2, x plus 1. Copy over my denominators, x plus 2. This whole thing cancels out with that whole factor. And I put 1s in their places because they cancel out. And I'm just left with x plus 1. Yay! For B, find the quotient. This time I'm not going to factor because there are no factors of 5 that add up to 3. So I'm going to do -2 on the outside, and it's going to be 1, 3, and 5. Bring down my 1, sorry, it's a -2. -2 times 1 is -2. 3 minus 2 is 1. -2 times 1 is -2. 5 and -2 is 3. So that means my answer is x plus 1. And then remember what we did with this. We added 3 over x plus 2. So I had a remainder there. For example number 2, find the quotient by factoring the numerator. Well, if I factor this numerator, these are my perfect cubes, remember, so this is x, the whole thing cubed, and then this is 2 cubed, okay, and that goes back to my one factor is x minus 2, and my other factor is then going to be x squared plus 2x plus 4. That's back in the last packet we did that. If you don't remember how to do it by factoring, you're going to have to do some sort of division. So x minus 2's cancel out, so I'm left with x squared plus 2x plus 4 for my final answer. Find the quotient. Again, I'm going to divide because it's not perfect cubes. This is going to be a positive 2. This will be 1, and then I have 0x squared, 0x, and a 4. So bring down the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Add them, I get 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Is that right? Oops, if that's -4 there. My bad. And -4 and 8 is going to give me a positive 4. So my answer is going to be no variable, one variable squared, so x squared plus 2x plus 4 plus 4 over, what was I dividing by? X minus 2. Okay. I don't know if you've noticed, but the answers are pretty similar. The only thing that's different between the two is the remainders. All right, next page. Find each quotient by inspection. Well, if I'm looking at these, I know that x is going to go in there one time, and I will have 3 left over, so it's 3 over x plus 1. In this case, I know x can go in there 2 times. So I can get a 2x. And then I'm going to be left with, let's see here, this should be 2 times x minus 3 and then minus 1. If I distribute that 2, I'll get 2x and then a negative 6 and minus 1. So I'm just rewriting what I have. So I will have 2x minus 3, so I'm left with negative 1 over x minus 3. X squared minus 21, x plus 4. By inspection, I have to find the closest thing to 4 that's a perfect square, and that would be 16. So that means this is x squared minus 16. Ah, it turned into a plus. That wasn't very good. Hang on, let me erase that. Okay, let's go back to what we were doing. So x squared minus 16, but then the problem is I still have negative 5 left over. That would give me the 21. And now I'm going to do x plus 4, x minus 4, minus 5. So that means I will have my x plus 4's kind of cancel each other out. So I'm left with x minus 4 minus 5 over x plus 4. Now I'm not going to ask you to do division by inspection only. Find each quotient by using the reverse tabular method. All right, so I have a 2 here and a 1 here. Subtract them, I get 1. Add 1 to it, I get 2. So I have 2 columns, and I have a 1 in the denominator. Add 1, so I have 2 rows. So this is a 2 by 2. We know that this is x squared. We know that this is 4x. We know that this is 10. We know we have x minus 8. And I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but always start up here in the upper left now. This is, oh, sorry, x squared. Yep, sorry, x squared was right. And what do I multiply x by to get x squared? But an x. So x times negative 8 is negative 8x. I need this diagonal to add this diagonal right here to add up to 4. If I have negative 8, that means this has to be a 12x. What do I multiply x by to get 12? But a 12. But 12 times negative 8 is not 10, it's negative 96. So that means I have to have a remainder. And I need to figure out what my remainder is, something that will make this 10. So I have negative 96 plus some number, and it has to give me 10. So negative 96 plus what number gives me 10? Well, that would be a positive 106 would give me a negative 96. Right? Yep. So I have to add, so my answer is going to look like this. Just going to make it easier. X plus 12. And then my remainder is going to be plus, like I said, negative 96 plus what gives me 10? Well, that would be positive 106. And I divided by x minus 8. All right, next problem. I have a 3 and a 1, that gives me 2, and then I have to add 1 to that, so I have 3 columns, and then I'm going to have 2 rows. I do not like the reverse tabular method as much when we have remainders. So this is x cubed, this is minus x squared, this is 3x, this is negative 1, and it was x plus 3. Got to start up here. That has to be x cubed. When I multiply x by to get x cubed, but x squared. X squared times 3 is 3x squared. I need my diagonal to add up to a negative x squared. That means this has to be negative 4x squared. I multiplied x by negative 4x. So then negative 4x times 3 is negative 12x. And again, I need to add, that diagonal needs to add up to 3, so that makes this 15x. What do I multiply x by to get that? That's plus 15. But 15 times 3 is 45. So I need to somehow end up with a negative 1. So I ask myself, 45 plus what number gives me a negative 1? Well, that would have to be negative 46. So x squared minus 4x plus 15 minus 46 over x plus 3. Last one, this is going to be a 2 by 2. X squared, negative 2x, negative 19, x minus 1. Well, this has to be x squared, so I multiply x by x to get x squared, so x times negative 1 is negative x. I need that to add up to negative 2x, so that means this has to be negative x, which means I have to multiply that by negative 1. So I end up with a positive 1. So 1 plus what will give me negative 19, and that would be 20. So that's 1 plus what gives me negative 19. Hang on one sec. Sorry, my sleeve was caught. So that would be a negative 20. So my answer is x minus 1 minus 20 over x minus 1. All right. Find each quotient by using long division. Oh, joy. All right. So, long division. Put x plus 6 on the outside. On the inside is x squared minus x minus 25. Move over two places. What do I multiply x by to get x squared? Well, that's an x. So x times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. I'm going to subtract. Distribute my negative. That makes this a negative 7x. What do I multiply x to get? X to get negative 7x, but minus 7. So negative 7 times x. Oh, sorry. No, my negative 25. Getting out of myself. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times 6 is negative 42. I'm going to subtract and then change this to the opposite. And 42 and minus 25 is 17. So then we just write plus 17 over x plus 6. All right. I know this says long division, but we also learned synthetic division, which works very well with long division. And we're going to do a review of synthetic division for two reasons. One, because it's fun. Two, because it's easier. Let's put a negative 2. We have x to the 4th, and then 0x squared, or x cubed, minus 8x squared, plus 0x, plus 12. So bring down the 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. 0 and negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Negative 8 and 4 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. 0 and 8 is 8. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. So my remainder is negative 4. And I will have x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x plus 8 minus 4 over x plus 2. Just put your fraction sign, or your negative sign out in front of your fraction if you can. Number 9, we cannot use synthetic division because we have a 2x to the 5th. So we must do long division. So it is 2x, at one spot on my screen, 2x minus 5 divided by 4x cubed plus 0x squared plus 5x minus 8. So what do I multiply 2x by to get 4x cubed? Well, that would be a 2x squared. Multiply, I will get 4x cubed minus 10x squared. And then I'm going to go and subtract, change everything to its opposite, combine my terms, so I have 10x squared, bring down my 5x. What do I multiply 2x by to get 10x squared? And that is 5x. 5x times 2x is 10x squared. 5x times negative 5 is negative 25x. And I subtract, change everything to its opposite. So those cancel, and I have a 30x. Bring down the negative 8. 2x times what gives me 30x? So that would be 15. So 15 times 2x is 30x. 15 times negative 5 is negative 75. So when I go to subtract, everything changes to its opposite, and I end up with a 67. So I just say plus 67 over 2x minus 5. And we're going to leave that there because the example on the next page deals with completing the square, and we're not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to hold off on this one, so we aren't doing that one at all. All right, that's it for today.